I'm Stephen, USSR Robinson, and you're watching Sport Icons. Papa!
Now, some people have been questioning me over the past couple of days about why I keep calling Filip Hrgovic the boogeyman of the heavyweight division. I guess some people still feel that Luis Ortiz is. Hey, I'm not going to go into all that one at all. Okay, but Filip Hrgovic is the boogeyman of the heavyweight division. Don't get me wrong, though, of course, there are plenty of other avoided fighters out there in the heavyweight division. There are. But Filip Hrgovic seems to be the one that nobody wants to fight. Some people will look at the cash versus reward kind of scenario. But Filip Hrgovic is the IBF, or for all intents and purposes, the IBF mandatory. At least he's in the final eliminator for it. He just needs an opponent. Anybody will do. So if we have a brief look back on just recent history of Filip Hrgovic, who Team Sauerland, Kalle and Nisse Sauerland, and now, of course, Wasserman and Eddie Hernan, that, of course, as well, with their dual promotional with Filip Hrgovic, have tried to get opponents. They've all turned it down. All of them. Luis Ortiz recently turned it down, cited some kind of injury, even though immediately after he defeated Charles Martin, what happened? Oh, I'm ready for everybody. Everybody's scared of me, blah, blah, blah. Well, Filip Hrgovic is right there. Nah, you're all right. I'm injured. Didn't even try to negotiate. Didn't even try. So Luis Ortiz, you ain't no boogeyman. And that's twice Luis Ortiz has now turned down Filip Hrgovic. More famously, of course, Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter even went to purse bids and then pulled out to go fight who was it? Somebody Perez? Whatever his name was? No, Wilson, sorry. Mike Wilson. On a Triller card. Michael Hunter wanted no smoke with Filip Hrgovic. Yesterday, the news came out that Joseph Parker has now said no to Filip Hrgovic. Joseph Parker, of course, fresh on a very good victory over Derek Chisora in their rematch. Straight after then, yes, I want to fight Filip Hrgovic. Yes, I want to fight Joe Joyce. Yes, I want to fight this guy, that guy. Well, there's the opportunity to fight Filip Hrgovic. Somewhat a in-house fight with them both being on DAZN. Apparently, he doesn't want it either. But of course, officially, he hasn't officially declined it yet. Today, Friday, being the day that he has to let the IBF know whether or not he is officially declining it or not. But it looks like he is going to decline it. I hope that he doesn't. I hope that he goes through with the fight. I personally would like to see it. I really would. Other people who's turned down Filip Hrgovic, well, there's actually quite a few of them. Ajit Kabiel has turned it down twice. Ajit Kabiel, undefeated fighter, top-ranked fighter from Germany with Turkish ancestry, former European heavyweight champion. Well, he's turned down Filip Hrgovic twice. Why? I mean, do these people have something better to do? What other opportunities are there out there for them? Who is it that they're fighting? That's what it is that I have to ask. Joe Joyce has turned down Filip Hrgovic. It was Sam Jones who said, well, we're kind of thinking about maybe we'll fight down Dubois, maybe we'll fight Filip Hrgovic. I don't know. Obviously, it's a rematch from the World Series of Boxing in the amateurs between them all, where Joe Joyce got the win. But ultimately, no, we're going to go fight Daniel Dubois. So effectively, he chose down Dubois over Filip Hrgovic. Is that a duck? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. So if anybody says no, he didn't, listen, I'm not going to argue with you on that point. But the list seems to go on and on and on. Andrews Jr. has turned it down as well. Martin Bakole has turned it down. Martin Bakole said no because there wasn't enough time. Then said, actually, well, maybe I'll fight you early part of the year. And then, no, actually, no, I'm not. Then, of course, it looked like he was going to be fighting Tony Yoka. That looks like that fight's going to be rescheduled. Don't be wrong, Bakole Yoka is a fantastic fight. I'd love to see that fight. But what's it going to get the winner? It ain't going to get them a mandatory position. I mean, isn't the aim of all professional fighters to get a world title opportunity, isn't it? That ain't going to get either one of them a world title opportunity. It isn't. Tony Yoka turned down that fight before as well. So this is why I say Filip Hrgovic is the most avoided man in the heavyweight division. And it's not like these people are turning down Filip Hrgovic and going to fight for a world title. That part I can understand. Or maybe fight somebody else for another sanctioning body mandatory position. I can understand that. I can understand it. Because it's not like the IBF will be called next It won't be. The WBA will be called next, then the IBF. But the IBF are very, very strict on their rules. When they call their mandatory, their champion has to defend against their IBF mandatory. If not, they'll strip you. They have a history of stripping people. They've stripped Canelo Alvarez. They've stripped Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. They stripped Tyson Fury in that before. They don't care. So the IBF, whoever becomes mandatory, listen, you get that position and you can just sit on your hands if you want and wait for that payday and hope that Anthony Joshua is in that position for you, obviously, to get your biggest payday. But the list goes on. This is why I call Filip Hrgovic, El Animal, the most avoided man in the heavyweight division. And he is legitimately the boogeyman. And whoever actually accepts the fight with him, as in a top-rated fighter out there, big up. Big up. Because at least that person has got a set of balls in their sack. Because it seems that a lot of these others don't. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. And I'll catch you all in the next video.